Thank you for being here this morning, Larry. Your family goes back in Redlands a long way.
Well, yes. We moved to Redlands in 1950.
1950.
Right. Dad came here as a principal of Redlands Junior High School. We moved here from Hemet.
And Redlands Junior High School is what we now call
North Campus.
North Campus of
Right.
Redlands High School.
Yeah.
We are standing in front of the Martin H. Munz Administration Building at Redlands High School. Why
Right.
is this building called the Martin H. Munz Building?
Well, partly because of George Anderson, who was principal here in, back a few years. Anyway, Dad was principal here when they built this building. In a spot right here was the old Manual Arts building, and they had the principal's office and everything in the old Manual Arts building because they had torn down the administration building here on campus. And we thought, or George thought, along with a few others, that it might be appropriate to honor Dad by naming the building after him, since he was the principal here at the time.
How many years was he at Redlands High School?
From 1966 to 1972. Yeah.
What kind of stories has he shared with you of his time running this campus?
Oh, he loved it. I don't think he really wanted to retire. He loved being principal, and he loved helping teachers become better teachers. That was sort of his mantra. He liked working with teachers in the classroom to help them do a better job of educating the kids. You know, of course, he was involved with so many things in the community and everything else, but that was his main emphasis here on the campus.
And you told me that that building straight across the way, which I called the ceramics building and you called the shop building,
Yeah.
is named after somebody in your family.
That's named after Clarence Hardy. Clarence Hardy is my wife's grandfather. Clarence came to Redlands in 1909, taught here manual arts here for 40 years. He retired in 1949.
What is manual arts?
Manual arts is the old term for industrial arts, or the shops that we know as wood shop, metal shop, drafting, auto shop, auto body, you know, all those good things, printing, that kind of thing.
Okay.
Right, yeah, yeah.
All right.
Yep, it was quite an honor for Clarence to have them named, the district did that, named it after him.
All right. And you said that this used to be a street going all the way through what we now think of as the mall that goes in front of the gym. I call it the girls' gym.
Yeah, it is
That's
still
still the girls' gym,
Still
okay.
the girls' gym, right. This was Fern Avenue, and when I was here in the late 50s, this was a street, and we could drive down the street here. We would cruise it early in the morning before school. They tried to stop cruising, but we still cruised anyway.
Nice.
It was really neat. You can still see some of the trees here that were here, particularly the palm trees in front of the girls' gym were original trees here. The trees that you see out in the middle have been planted since.
So you were born and raised in Redlands?
No, I wasn't born and
No.
raised. No, I was born in Prescott, Arizona. Dad was principal there at Prescott High School. And in 1945, we moved to Hemet. Dad accepted a position there. Coming from Arizona to California, he could almost double his salary. So he thought it economically the best thing to move to California.
Mm-hmm.
We lived in Hemet for 5 years, and then he had the opportunity to come here to Redlands.
Well, you said 50 years. I figured you were born here. So did,
well, thank you.
You're welcome. Did you go through the Redlands Unified School District then?
Yes, I started in the 5th grade at Kingsbury, and then went to Redlands Junior High. Dad was my principal. I was the principal's kid.
How did that go?
I stayed out of trouble. I had to,
Uh-huh.
but the junior high school was great. I enjoyed that a lot. I had good teachers. I enjoyed, of course, my shop classes tremendously. I had a couple of teachers there that were really good.
Uh-huh.
I liked that. Recently, Bob Sullivan, who just retired or just passed away, was one of my favorite teachers there. Paul Wingren. Then had some great other teachers too.
All right. I love to hear the names.
Yeah.
I love that. Yeah.
Well, Harry Donahue was another shop teacher. I still have projects from all these teachers, all these classes that I've made.
Where do you keep them?
At home, I've got them displayed. In fact, there are some that we're still using, you know, bowls and things like
Really?
that. Yeah.
Oh,
right.
that's great.
I have all the drafting plates and everything else that I made. Still have all those. I kept them.
Now, so having grown up with your father as the principal, surely you went as far from education as you could go in your career.
No, not really. Thanks to a couple of teachers, Bob Sullivan being one of them, and a fellow by the name of Vern Casper. Vern Casper was a machine shop teacher here in the classroom over here. It was really, he sort of inspired a whole bunch of us to be shop teachers. There's Ivan Heidemann, Jim Brackens, and a few others of us, that he was really a kid's man. He was super with cars, had old cars, inspired all of us in cars. That was the vehicle. So I went to school and became an industrial arts teacher myself.
Wow. Now, did you ever teach with your father as your administrator?
Oh, no. no. I started teaching in 1962 at Del Vallejo Junior High School. And then I went to Rialto for a year, and then I came back and taught at Cope for about 5 years.
What years were those?
1965 to 1969.
So it was Cope Junior High then?
Oh, yes. Oh, yeah. It was a 3-year school. And that was a lot of fun. I still run into all sorts of former students who are in the trades, who are not in the trades, but they still have the projects that they made in my classes there.
Nice.
Yeah.
All right.
That was really cool. I relish those moments of meeting former students, because you never know what they're going to be like while they're still in school or after they graduate. It's the years afterwards that really tell you about the effect that you had on kids.
What kind of administrator was your father?
I would say he was fair, firm, and friendly.
Yeah. and what kind of teacher were you?
Oh, geez, I was firm and probably fair. I don't know if I was that friendly or not.
How has Redlands changed since you came here?
Oh, wow, it has grown by leaps and bounds. I remember moving here in August of 1950 and thinking, geez, that big swimming pool in Sylvan Park, Sylvan Plunge, how neat, you know, what
Yeah.
a great place to go and swim. Immediately got an ear infection and wasn't able to go in the water for the rest of the summer. But the next summer I really did enjoy Sylvan Plunge, swimming there, having a great time, you know, between 5th and 6th grade. That was really super. But you know, on about how things have changed, this campus has changed. You know, the North Campus is now, the old junior high is now the North Campus. All this building and a series of other buildings down the way here are all new buildings. Not much left of the old campus, really. It's almost all been torn down and gone. Where Terrier Gym is over there, that was Beacon Street.
Really?
Yes. In fact, I had classes in one of the old houses over there while they were still finishing up the new buildings here.
You
on
had
this
classes in a house?
Yes, right. An English class from Mabel Sales. Mabel Sales was my English teacher there 1 year.
Was it her house?
No, it was a house that was owned by the school, and they needed classrooms, so they turned the living room in this house into a classroom, and we were housed there temporarily, maybe for 4 or 5 weeks until they finished the classrooms here.
Wow.
But there were no pools on campus. I was a swimmer in high school, so we had to swim at the Y and at the university. We didn't have the pools, the beautiful pools that we have now. They built those later in, I think, about 1964.
What year did you graduate?
1958.
1958?
Mighty class of 58, right.
Wow.
It was a great class. We still have a lot of friends around that are in that same class.
All right. So what footprints have you left in the sands of Redlands?
I don't know.
What is your legacy here?
Oh, I was the first coach for the Redlands, what is now the Redlands swim team.
Really?
Which is an age group program. We started that at Sylvan Plunge in about 1958, 59 in there someplace. It was a rather interesting setup. Every summer there was what they called the 5 city meet between the cities around here. And we would, at the Optimus swim meet that they held every summer there at the Plunge, we would take then the first, second, third place winners to the 5 city meet. Well, some of the swimmers were pretty good, some of them were okay. We needed to work out and practice and have a little coaching. So I convinced Bob Chambers, who was the manager of the pool at the time, teacher here on campus, to see if I couldn't work with the kids after the pool closed for a little while. So we did that for 2 or 3 weeks and went on to the 5 city meet. Well, the next summer, we actually started practices early. As soon as the pool opened, we started practices. Bob.
What does early mean?
Well, what I'm saying is we started in June.
Oh, okay.
Right after school was out, and in order to get some practice, we lined up some swimming teams, other teams in the area to swim against. That's basically how we got started.
Wow.
Yeah. It then turned into a year-round program. And has since, it was the Redlands Swim Club Barracudas, and now it's the Redlands Swim Team.
Yeah.
And doing very well.
It is doing well.
Oh, over the years, we've had some fantastic swimmers come through here.
Yeah, and there was an Olympian this summer who came and coached them, was there not?
He came here for a visit, I think. Yeah. But, you know, Redlands likes to claim Tyler Carey as being born here in Redlands, but he really trained in Riverside and Fullerton. He was good. Think of the bronze medal winner that we really did have from Redlands, and I'm blanking on it right now.
Did you coach that swimmer?
No.
But went through the Redlands swim team?
Yes, right. And eventually went on to another team later on. He went to Washington and became a really good swimmer up there too.
You raise your kids in Redlands?
Yes, I have 2 kids. They both graduated from Redlands High School. They're both blue and white.
Your children are hometown heroes and have banners in town.
Yes, that's right.
Where are they?
Well.
And what are their names?
Oh, Larry's picture, his name is Lawrence, but they call him Larry. Their picture is at Cajon and Olive. And my daughter-in-law's picture is there too. Her name is Lita Danke. That's her military name, so that's the reason why we put that up there. And then I have go ahead.
What branch of the service are they in?
They're in the Air Force. They're both colonels in the Air Force Reserve.
Wow.
And they're stationed at Hurlbut Field in Florida, which is near Fort Walton Beach. They spend most of the time on active duty because that's the nature of special operations today. And they're both helicopter pilots.
Oh my gosh.
They both really enjoyed that. Lita was flew helicopters for contractors who were testing munitions out over the Gulf of Mexico. And Larry was a H-53 Pavlo 3 helicopter. This is a helicopter that flies at night to do clandestine things.
Gosh, you must be so proud.
Well, I am. They're really neat. They have 4 kids. 2 of them are at Auburn University in Alabama, and 2 of them are still in high school in Fort Walton Beach.
Wow.
So that's pretty. Then I have a daughter who is a labor and delivery nurse here at Redlands Community Hospital, and her husband is an engineer at Northrop Grumman. She married Tim Havard, whose father taught here on this campus for many years, taught math, still coaches football and baseball.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so we have lots of ties here. Megan and Larry both, have had relatives that have buildings named after them, which is sort of cool.
Yes.
Yeah, I don't know if anybody else around has that kind of recognition or not.
I don't think anybody does, certainly not on the Redlands High School campus. That's remarkable.
Lots of tradition here, and lots of family tradition for us.
Wow. Now, what did you do after you left Cope?
I went to work with the regional occupational programs. I started I was the first director of an ROP over in Riverside County in the Hemet-San Jacinto area. And then I went to work for Riverside County ROP after that initial ROP was dissolved in favor of the county. And then I moved from the Riverside County to San Bernardino County, working as the coordinator of instruction for the ROP here. And finally, after 13 years in San Bernardino County, I was the superintendent of the Colton, Redlands, and Yucaipa ROP for 3 years. After that, I wanted to change the scenery, so I decided that I'd go into contracting, and I was a general contractor for about 12 years.
You became a general contractor.
That's right, right. I specialized, I started out with garden gates and patio covers and things like that, eventually moving into things like kitchens, bathrooms, garages,
Wow.
and that kind of thing. I had A1 Construction Services was the name of my company.
Have you hired any of your former shop students?
I did have a couple that were that came back and did. They were subcontractors working
Wow.
on some of the things I did. Did some seismic retrofits, tying buildings down to foundations
Sure.
and things like that. That was a lot of fun. I really enjoyed that process because every day was new and different. No routine at all. It was every project was different. So I had a great time with that.
Super.
And then I've, of course, been a member of the Kiwanis Club. I joined them in 1986 with Frank Sorrell, who was my sponsor. Secondary football coach here on campus as well as the University of Redlands, and a staunch member of the club. Dad was a member of the Kiwanis Club for over 60 years.
Oh my gosh.
He joined the Kiwanis Club in Prescott in 1942 and was a member until he died.
Wow.
That was pretty neat. Anyway, I've been a member there. I've served as president in 1997. I've been a member of all the committees and received every award they have to give. So I guess I've made my mark there.
Yeah.
Let's see. I'm currently on the board of the Redlands Scholarship Foundation. I serve there. I'm on the board of trustees and vice president at Kimberly Crest for that. Been spending a lot of time with them. I was a chair of the Historic and Scenic Preservation Commission here in town when they were first implementing the ordinance for historic preservation.
What year was that?
That was back in the 70s. I want to say 72 or something along that line.
How did that come about?
Oh, the commission came about because I think the city council saw a need to have a group of people that would filter out some of the historic properties in town and try to save them. And so they set up, with a lot of help, a really neat ordinance that was one of the strongest, still is one of the strongest in California, for the preservation of historic properties. The district on
And you mean
on
Highland Avenue?
Highland Avenue Historic District, the historic district on Eureka, and lots of other buildings and things around town. Being chair of that commission, I naturally had my own house put on that
Yeah.
historic registry.
You lived
Which
in an
I-
old house.
Yes, it was built in 1905.
Oh my goodness.
Yes, right. It for many years it was the home of Ernest Skolton, who was an orange grower, and there were orange trees all the way around it. In fact, Bob Skolton, who taught science and coached track here at this campus, I believe was born and raised in that house, along with his sisters. Anyway, we bought the house in 1984 and have lived there ever since.
Boy, you you got Redlands just all over you.
Every time you turn around, there's somebody that has done something super to benefit those people that are here.
That's good stuff, Larry. Thank you for coming out to talk to me this morning.